My name is Ed Moy.
My name is Sheila Armstrong.
I'm a retired Pennsylvania state policeman.
I am a lifelong Philadelphian. We have so many businesses down here that is shut and closed.
And it's gotten even worse since Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have been in charge of this country.
The dilapidated buildings in my community, even the churches is having a difficult time keeping up. We have seen jobs decrease and job opportunity decrease. This is why I am convinced that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris is bad for my Black community.
Today, everyone is struggling.
For the past 4 years, our overdoses have increased.
And that's due to the policies of Biden and Harris, without a doubt.
Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are allowing illegal people to come into our country.
Murder rates going up, all crimes have gone up.
That is the issue of Joe Biden, Kamala Harris supporting relaxed laws, defunding the police, open borders. This is what's messing up our city. This is what's messing us up as America. Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and the Democrat Party do not care about our low-income Black communities. If they did, they would have been fixed the problems. This is why we were better under the Trump administration. Trump heard our problems and began to solve them.
If we don't elect Donald Trump, these neighborhoods are going to turn into war zones worse than they are.
I believe that Donald Trump will make Philadelphia safe again. The people of Philadelphia will be safer with Donald Trump as president. We were safe before, and it's time for us to be safe again.
My name is Bruce Lavelle. I'm almost a 30-year business owner.
Oh, I fucking love it.
I want to show you my Atlanta. Now, the city of Atlanta and a lot of other cities that were under that defund Biden-Harris regime, I know for a fact Atlanta's almost a third understaffed with police. Created a very bad situation. The Biden-Harris administration has pretty much stripped away the camaraderie amongst the great brave men and women that serve and protect, but with all the chaos, all the messaging of defund, all the sitting back and letting communities burn has been a tremendous burden on attracting good quality men and women who want to wear that badge. Failed policies that have created a vacuum of civil unrest, of murder, mayhem, and chaos around this great nation. It is on the back of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and their entire regime. Joe Biden, Kamala Harris have left great communities like mine here in Atlanta behind. They really could care less. Atlanta's been very good to us, but it's not looking so good under the Biden-Harris regime. The hope for Atlanta is the hope that we need President Trump elected November 5th.
He's got the whole world in his hands.
What up, Dom?
He's got the whole wide world in his hands. He's got the whole world
Dusty?
in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands.
No, Mr. President-elect. Go ahead. President-elect, since you are...
You wanna... No, not you. Funny thing, Abby, that movie Cold Mountain. If you remember if you got into the part where the slaves walk out of the field with eggs, that big black gorilla looking dude used to be one of my soldiers. Well, we got for you today. I've got some stuff on Tim Waltz that I want to go over because, well, stolen valor, and I really don't like stolen valor. And Tim Waltz, the future or the vice president nominee right now. I think he means what is Dom? Oh yeah. His name was fuck. He was a big racist fucker too. I can't remember the motherfucker's name. I didn't like him. Anyway, I got a video for you before we get into some of the news. But like I said, we're going to go over what I feel about Tim Waltz. That's near the end. But at the beginning, I've got a shorter clip about a pedophile on TikTok. And then I've got another clip of an interrogation of a chomo that this dude doesn't deserve to go to jail. He deserves to be hung with barbed wire. So, with that being said, we're going to get into some music because, that's typically how everybody starts their stream. I started it. But anyway, it doesn't really fucking matter because we're all here for peace, love, tranquility. Whatever that shit means.
You are attacking our news organization. Can you give us a chance?
Your organization
You are
is
attacking
terrible.
our news. Can you give us a question?
I'm not going to give you a question.
Can you state categorically?
You are fake news.
That's one.
I used to struggle for a story and I never found the glory that was destined for me. But now I'm seeing it and I know that activism is the way it should be.
You ready, Dom? Check this out. Woo! That's my lightning.
Now if you think I'm taking sides, cause you caught me telling lies, I'll start gaslighting you. Vaccines, drag queens, race bait, Russiagate's what I will do.
Here's the cool thing about
I'll say anything you want to hear. I'll keep BSing you. I'll do anything I have to do just to reach the top. Wanna be fake news. To be fake news. Now if my story's full of crap, that's cause we don't check the facts. That would be keeping it real. And we don't allow dissent, cause we don't have arguments. It's just about how we feel. I'll say anything you want to hear. I'll keep BSing you. I'll do anything I have to do just to reach the top. Wanna be fake news. To be fake news. To be fake news. To be fake news. Oh yeah.
American trust in the mass media is at its lowest point since 2016 and near a record low overall.
Now if I seem a bit extreme, let me tell you what I mean. It's propaganda I sell. I take my orders from above.
All right, so this next one. Sorry, I had to put all the parody and joke stuff up first because got to get into the seriousness. But here's another call, the actual call to Kamala Harris from Barack Obama and Big Mike.
Hi.
Congratulations.
Oh my goodness.
Now, listen, let's be clear. You are the puppet, and I'm the puppet master. Just call me Daddy. Big Daddy Barack. From now on, you're my bitch, both literally and figuratively. Now look, we're going to rig this thing just like we did for Joe. So you don't have to really do anything. Just don't f*** it up. But it would be nice if you could pretend to not be a total idiot. Just until November. Like, don't talk about shit you know nothing about.
AI is kind of a fancy thing. It's, first of all, it's 2 letters. It means artificial intelligence. But ultimately what it is it's about machine learning. And so the machine is taught.
And look, we get it. You like Venn diagrams. You don't have to keep reminding us.
I love Venn diagrams. I love Venn diagrams. I love Venn diagrams.
And for the love of God, stop with the laugh. Your laugh, it's weird. It's a weird laugh. You scare people. It's not even a laugh. It's more of a cackle. You're like the Wicked Witch from The Wizard of Oz, except you're brown. You're like a cross between a human being and a hyena. You're like a transgender version of the Joker. All right, now look, we need this rigged election to look real. And we know that nobody really likes you, so this is what we're gonna do. We know you can't fill a stadium like Trump. So what we're gonna do instead, we're gonna bring in a popular musician by the name of Megan Thee Stallion. Now, Megan Thee Stallion is gonna host a free concert. This concert will be in Atlanta. And so now here's the twist. You're gonna come on stage and speak for a bit. Then we pretend that it was a Kamala Harris rally. Then America will think that you can fill up a stadium just like Trump does. American voters are stupid. They'll totally fall for it. And when speaking, I want you to try to sound as black as you can. Instead of saying everyone, I want you to say y'all.
And you all helped us win in 2020, and we're going to do it again in 2024.
Growing up in the South, even though my parents are from Northeast, well, my dad, my mom's from a different country. People want to fake a Southern accent. That's kind of fucked up. Especially if you're from California and went to school in, wait for it, Canada.
Love that shit. I grew up in Hawaii, but hell, it worked for me.
What up, Laura?
All right, what do you think?
I'm looking forward to doing this, getting out there, being on the road. And we're going to have some fun with this too, aren't we?
No, I said stop it with a laugh. Damn it, Kamala, don't f this up.
Mr. Reagan. I'm Professor Sungan Diesmans, and I approve this message. So if...
All right. Yeah. I mean, I love saying y'all. I mean, I grew up with it. So this next video, it's from Ruin Leon. He's another influencer. He gets paid way more money than I do. But he finds some shit that typically I try to look for. Like I went on Libs of TikTok. I couldn't find this video. So obviously I'm going to steal his content. Mainly the video part, but not his content. But I am using his content, so technically I am stealing his content. I'm repurposing it and giving my, what's that word? Commentary. That's how you get around it. So, without further ado, let's listen to a chomo who blames, wait for it, the victims.
If you want some gossip and some drama that you can salivate over, I can give you some. Yes, I am a registered... I spent 3.5 years in prison for assaulting a 12-year-old girl. What I have learned about all of my experiences in this is that the only thing that I did wrong was confessing and cooperating with the police. Nothing that I did caused that girl any actual harm or injury. In terms of scientific cause and effect, nothing that I did caused any harm or injury to this person.
No,
and that's the
way.
Truth. What I did do, or what I kind of started to do, was teach this young woman about love and about the art of making.
There is a drastic problem I have right now, and it's the fact that I don't know if he's lying or not. I live in a world where I've seen so much that one time I could believe was fake, but it ends up being real to the point where I think he's serious. I think he genuinely believes he's done no type of wrong except cooperating with the cops and letting them know that he did it. I truly think that this fool might be serious, but then he might be one of those weird people that wants to go viral on social media for saying something edgy and cool, and is somebody who gets falsely labeled as edgy because he just...
Larp, I completely agree with that, but I don't think they should be allowed the opportunity to have a coffin. I don't. Take them out to the Arizona desert, stake them down naked, cover them with, honey, and then leave. Seems like a good way to die. Or hang them with Constantino wire.
states what he sees with his own eyes. You should never, ever want to go viral for pretending to be somebody who violates kids. Where, oh where, did the dots not connect here for some people? And let's tickle the balls on it just a little bit. Let's say this dude is actually who he says he is, and we got police records and files and court documents that could verify all of that.
Oh, shit. That sounds familiar.
Why are you on social media telling us? Why are you on an app primarily dominated by teenagers and children thinking, yes, people will feel sorry for me and see that I, for one, am the one who was treated unfair? No, you sick freak. That's not how this is going to work. People, thanks to me and various others, know how to use their entire brain and realize that people like you are sick. And let's tickle the balls over here. If you're not any of this and you're just trying to look cool on the internet by being shocking, you're a fucking moron. Because who would do that?
I honestly had no fucking clue that it was even possible for a 12-year-old girl to develop an attraction to a full-grown adult man. That girl snuck into the shower when I was fucking naked. The reason my hand was on her is because she put it on her.
She's 12.
All right, first Nick, now you. I guess I'll heebie your jeebies. And just like Nick, I gave him the benefit of listening to his entire video, and I gave you the benefit of listening to your entire video, and things ain't adding up to me. As you may have noticed right now, I sliced and diced the key points of your video that stood out to me. Such as, how was a 12-year-old girl able to get into the shower with you? And then, as you said, put your hand on her hoo-ha. I'm actually appreciative that TikTok has brought me to this side of the algorithm because I get to find y'all. And I get to do my part in making sure everybody else finds you too. And while Nick was watching child grape videos, and he's since been taken off of TikTok, but don't worry, I still have his video and people still know where he is. You actually touched a fucking 12-year-old. In the shower.
And you're blaming.
But don't worry, your explanation falls on deaf ears because I've heard all I need to hear from your own mouth. So just like I told Nick, once you cross the line, you don't come back. Sorry. Actually, you know what? I'm not sorry at all about it.
Big old dick. No, he's got.
It's completely unforgivable. No matter what your excuse is. Entertain for a second. Just a second, because that's all I can entertain it. That your story holds water, that she snuck into the shower while you were taking a shower, jumped in and placed your hand on her hoo-ha. See, when you hear somebody else say it, it sounds fucking ridiculous, right? Most people lock their door when their kids have friends over. And I'm not even sure you have kids. I just know there was a 12-year-old girl. I'm going off of your story. I looked at that story and then everything after because, well, y'all like to fucking talk about it, apparently. You did confess, and you confessed again. So, just like Nick, I commend you for telling the truth. But that's as far as it goes. Take care. Oh, and also don't misconstrue this as me threatening you. I'm too busy to deal with you in my daily life. If I come across you, it's hands on sight. But at the same time, I just want to make sure people are aware you're here.
I'm struggling because I've seen a lot of
dudes on TikTok basically saying, "Oh, this is true. I'm not the one that took my hand and put it on her vagina. I'm not the one that opened the door and moved the curtain and jumped in the shower with me." That makes no sense. And wow. Alrighty then. And this is why I'm gonna stop fucking doing this. Anyway, let's get to this interview. If you trigger warning.
If this is true, if she did that once, if she started grinding on you, it would be tough for anybody to stop. I mean, I get it. We're all men, right? But I don't see. Then explain to me why you wouldn't stop her from doing that. Like I said, if one time's a mistake, I get that. But for you to let it continue?
This is 37-year-old Steve Luckett, a resident of Fayetteville, who, in his 3 years in Little Rock, committed the worst of crimes against 5 minors. In this video, you're about to see him lie through his teeth about his accusations and how his crazy father-daughter story gets destroyed by the interrogator. In October of 2020, Steve Luckett came to the attention of law enforcement in Fayetteville after he was alleged by 5 minors of, let's just call it SA. The interesting thing was, these 5 children reported this abuse in Little Rock, which is almost 200 miles away from Fayetteville. Turns out that Luckett had spent some years in Little Rock committing some of the biggest vulgarities you can imagine. A 12-year-old victim of Luckett claimed that she had been his victim for 3 years. Not only was she SA'd, she was also recorded by Luckett. Another 14-year-old girl claimed that he tried to bribe her with $20 just so he could do the deed. Even though she refused, she found out that he took advantage of her while she was sleeping. After Homeland Security got involved, Luckett was brought in for interrogation on the 7th of October 2020. In these cases, where the evidence hangs more on statements rather than proof, only a confession can seal Luckett's fate. But there is one piece of evidence available: the video recordings. So before this detective arrested Luckett, he did get verbal consent to access his phone. But now you're about to see how much he squirms when the detective asks for Luckett's phone access.
Uh-oh. All right. So, I know when we were talking out there on the street, if you will, you told me I could look through your phone. I know you told me that there were some photographs on there, and you kind of explained the situation behind that. And I don't have any reason not to believe you at this point, but that's why I want to talk to you and figure out what exactly happened. So, with that being said, do you still want to give me consent to look through your cell phone?
I don't know what's going to happen because I know how y'all going to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I already know how that's going to.
Well, let me ask you this: is that the only thing we're going to find on there?
Well, I did download like porno movies, like old time, like 70s porn.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that. Everybody watches porn, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah. Is there anything that you're worried about?
That's it.
Okay.
That's the only thing that's on there.
Is there going to be any evidence of the text with the friends or anything?
There is none.
No? Okay.
I had talked to him a while ago.
Yeah.
And I asked him if he could do that for me. And he told me what to do and what to push to get into the phone.
Yeah.
And so I went through it. And
is it on her phone?
It was.
Okay.
She probably deleted them off of there, but
okay.
She was sending sexting this dude, this boy, and then he was sending her pictures of his genitals and stuff like that. And I talked to her and I told her that she shouldn't be doing that.
Right.
If she wants to be with somebody, she needs to be with somebody that respects her.
Right.
Not somebody that's asking her and for pretty much trying to make her do that shit.
Right.
You know, like if you like somebody, you like them for who they are.
You don't demand pictures. I understand that. I mean, that sounds like you're being the best father you can on that. I mean, you're looking out for her.
To justify the content on his phone, he talks about how he caught his daughter or stepdaughter sending pictures to someone she likes, and that he has those pictures on his phone. And although the detective is claiming that he's quote-unquote just being a good father, it is sickening to have those pictures in the first place. This cock and bull story will only get crazier once you hear how he, a father, checked her sexually active status. By the way, just as a quick reminder, if you enjoy this content, please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. It supports me more than you know. Now, back to the video.
And then I did check her to see if she had been sexually active.
Okay.
That's on my phone.
So when you say you checked her, what do you mean?
I looked at her.
Okay.
Like I looked.
Okay. How did that go about?
I just was worried. I was talking to her on the bed for a while about the sex and stuff like that. And I was like asking her, well, is she sexually active? Because they say a lot of things that makes me think that maybe that they are.
You're too mature, maybe?
Yeah. And I don't know. I just wanted to try and protect them.
No, I mean, to me, man, I'm a father too. Okay, I am. So I get when you're coming from. I get where you want to be a good father, and we've only been talking in here for a couple minutes now, but that's what I'm getting from you. I mean, or else you probably wouldn't be here wanting to talk to me, right? I mean, if you weren't a good father and you were doing something bad, then there's no reason to talk to me. But obviously there's some stuff that I need to clear up, and I need to get your side of the story, because right now I just have other people's side of the story, right? I wasn't there. You were there. Your wife was there. Kiddos were there. So I need your side. Okay. So, and we'll get back to the checking her and some other details here in a second, but with your phone, do you care if I go through it?
That's all that's on there.
Okay.
So I don't. Yeah. Got that.
Okay.
If you do a quick incognito search on how to check if someone is sexually active, you'll find out that the only way possible is by this radical method called telling someone. On more medical grounds, you can request a rape kit or get an OBGYN's professional checkup, but all in all, there's not a single article that supports checking yourself.
Yeah.
You can see why he sounded so disappointed after giving such a graphic justification for the content on his phone, and normally, his phone's content should make this an open and shut case. However, according to the statements, some victims were not recorded.
Well, I wanted to talk to her about the situation. I talked to her. We talked for hours, and then I said to her that I asked her if she's sexually active, like has she been having sex, and she said no, but certain things they say just make me believe that they are.
Yeah, so a teenager's gonna lie to their parents. Yeah, that's common.
Yeah, the way I went about doing that was wrong, and I know I just thought that I was doing the right thing, but
you thought?
I don't know. I don't think that was the right way. I just thought that I was trying to make sure that they were okay.
So walk me through what you did.
I just looked at her with my phone.
Okay.
I looked at her to make sure that she hadn't been.
I know that's not easy to say.
It's not like I didn't do anything else. It's like that.
So when you say you looked at her vagina? Okay. How did her pants come off?
What the hell?
She took them off.
Willingly? It's important that I know the truth. And it's important.
But yeah, she did. I was talking to her and I asked her if it was okay if I checked and stuff.
So you asked her, can I look at you to make sure that you're not sexually active? And she allowed you to look at her with a cell phone? Again, it's important that I know the details, man. And I'm not trying to make you into anything that you're not, okay? But hearing that back, you can see that something sounds off, right? So how did it really happen?
That's all right.
So she willingly took her pants off for you to look at her with a cell phone.
Ridiculous.
When I was in the room, we were talking. I was talking to her about the phone. Why is she doing this? And stuff like that. And so I asked her, is that like, could I look at her to see, you know what I'm saying? To see, well, you don't know what I'm saying. But I asked her, can I look at her? And then I looked, but the only thing they said that I had my phone with.
Why did you have your phone with you?
I was gonna try and use that against her so she can calm down on this other stuff. Like I said, I brought it the wrong way.
So when you say you had your phone out, did you take a picture or a video? Yeah. Okay. And this is a separate picture than the one that you found on her cell phone.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. I appreciate your honesty. I do. And I know that's not easy to say. I know that's painful to say. But I know.
After he realizes that the detective has gotten more dirt on him, he finally accepts recording a different minor, not his daughter. It's possible to assume that the detective never needed his consent to go through his phone because he must have gotten a search warrant already. But to make sure the detective wins the power balance in the room, he will continue picking out inconsistencies in his story till he has no choice but to confess.
So on your phone, just so I'm clear, because again, I don't want to put words in your mouth or say things that you didn't tell me, there would be pictures that she took, that you took from her phone and now have on your phone. But there will also be pictures and a video of her that you took. Okay. And just so I'm clear, when you say checking, do you mean only visually? Was there any chance that there was anything more than visual?
I just looked.
Okay, so were you actually physically touching?
Yeah, like this with my hand.
And are you talking about her vagina?
Yeah.
Okay. What was she doing during this?
She was laying on the bed. Okay. And I asked her, are you uncomfortable?
Yeah.
And I asked her, are you okay?
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
So would there be any chance that she would have said that you did something else that day?
Never crossed my mind.
In this situation, any sane person would just die of shame in describing this method of checking. But he, without a break in his voice, describes it like it's a common thing. This itself is a psychological trait of predators, that they find such heinous details normal. On top of that, the detective poses the situation as a way to make him feel more guilty by talking about how long he's kept those pictures, which completely destroyed his made-up story. Now, all the detective has to do is apply just enough pressure to get him to finally reveal the truth.
Listen, man. I don't think of you as a bad guy. Okay? I really don't. And I don't think of you as a bad father. I think a lot of what you said is you say how you were brought up, how you did things, how your parents did things. I don't know your entire life story, but I do know, right? This is something that you wanted her to do. This is something you encouraged her to do. But is this anything that you stopped her from doing?
So you forced her?
And again, it's important to be honest, okay? One time's a mistake. Any time after that, it's tough to justify, right? So how many times?
I don't know exactly the number, but she has been a lot.
And you didn't do anything to stop her? Listen, I'm not, it's easy to think what you think I'm thinking, but that's not the case, okay? If this is true, if she did that once, if she started grinding on you, it would be tough for anybody to stop. I mean, I get it. We're all men, right? But then explain to me why you wouldn't stop her from doing that. Like I said, if one time's a mistake, I get that. But for you to let it continue?
Not if I let her continue.
No. So, how many times do you think you let it continue?
She has done that several times.
Okay. Have you encouraged her to do that? Have you ever enticed her to do that?
I've never forced her to do that.
So you're saying that every time she's touched your penis?
Every time she's came into my room when I was asleep, or maybe I would go back there and check on them, and she'd say, I'm sleeping. Maybe not tonight. And sometimes I would say, sure, but sometimes I will.
So when you say sure, or you would let her sleep in the bed with you, would you expect some sort of sexual contact with her? But every time that she did sleep in the bed with you, did you have sexual contact with her?
Sometimes she did.
Okay.
Sometimes, yeah. So,
But just so I'm clear, you never asked her to. Not even one time.
no, sir. I never
I find that hard to believe.
So, as a 10, 11, 12-year-old, she came to you asking for sexual contact. Do you see how that's not impossible for me to believe, but it's not easy for me to believe. I want to think that at some point you did ask her. Because I think you did. Because if at one point she's letting you do it, it would be easy to go back and ask her to do it. Wouldn't you agree?
And no, sir, I did not ever ask her to do it.
Do you think that there's a difference between asking her to do it versus she does it and you don't tell her to stop? In your eyes, do you feel like there's a difference?
Every time I would talk to her and I would tell her why it's wrong, and why that's not a good thing. And I would tell her, I'm a grown man. You're a child. You're not supposed to do that. This is wrong. I would tell her that every time.
But she would keep going?
Or that wouldn't go past that point every time I talked to her.
Okay. But there were times where you didn't talk to her and you let her continue.
I talked to her every single time.
No, but you just told me that she would touch your penis several times.
Yes,
and you would talk to her, but you never stopped her.
What up, clown?
You see where I'm confused?
When
Did you really?
Okay, I wake up and she's there, and then
Oh yeah.
When you sleep, you sleep.
I agree.
I mean,
yeah.
And then she come in, and then I wake up to her being behind me, or in front of me.
How you been, buddy?
And then that would be happening to where she's touching me, and I'm trying to, I wake up and you're right. I should.
So when you woke up, what happened? When you woke up, what happened?
This about 3 hours ago.
Okay. And I respect that. And hindsight's always easy to look back on. But when you say you would do things differently, what did you actually do? When you woke up and you saw her touching you, what did you do?
I should stop.
I hear you. I do. But what did you do? You should have stopped it, is what you're saying. But what did you do? Instead of stopping it, what did you do? So she continued to touch your penis?
I didn't exactly stop it to where she wouldn't stop into the room doing that.
Okay. But every time that she would touch your penis, did she continue to do that? Or as soon as you woke up and you saw her, you would stop her?
Sometimes I did.
And so when you say sometimes you didn't, what does that mean?
Bro, if they're muting some shit, that must be bad.
Sometimes I stop her. Sometimes
And I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, man, and I'm not trying to. Well, I'm not there, man. I want to know what happened because it doesn't sound like this is your fault entirely. Okay, if it's true where some stuff happened where it led you into this and you gave into temptation, I can understand that. But I've got two options right now, okay? Because we've been talking for quite a while now, and you've given me nothing but genuine
video,
heartfelt
to go
discussion.
with those.
Would you agree with that?
Report.
So I've got two options. I've got some guy that gave into temptation several times and couldn't resist what was happening, which we've all been there. We all understand what happens. On the other hand, I've got a monster that preys on children and wants to hurt children and targets children exactly. You know what I mean? I don't think you're this one, man. I don't think you're a monster. I don't think you want to hurt children. I think you gave into temptation. And I think you gave into temptation more than one time. Would you agree with that? Because if you're not this guy, then I have to believe that you're this guy. Because I don't think there's anyone else around it. Would you agree? And again, I don't think you're this guy. I don't think you're a monster, and I don't think you're a bad guy. But if you're not telling me that you gave into the temptation, and you're not telling me that, okay, it happened and I didn't stop it, then I have to believe this guy.
I think you encouraged it.
Well, that's not who I am.
I know. I don't think you are. But giving into temptation
12-year-old daughter.
Once, twice, 3 times. Would you agree that that was the right thing to do? Would you say that what you did was illegal? Yeah. Is there anything else that you were being honest and open with each other? Again, when we're giving into temptation, when we're in that moment, when things are heating up, if you will, it could lead to other things. And I need to know everything, because this is where we get it out. This is where we talk about what happened. Because after this, I can't guarantee you that I'm going to talk to you again. If there's something that you need to tell me what else would have happened, then I need to know. Any other sexual contact.
She was taking her clothes off several times.
These 10 minutes should be the case study for the infamous Reed technique and its effectiveness. This detective has set the theme that it was temptation that got to him, overcame his objections, retained the suspect's attention by adjusting himself in an upright position, and lastly, presented the alternatives, one demonstrating Luckett's guilt, and the other logical option. The detective has Luckett's attention and focus. Now he just needs his confession.
Several times, she was on there. I forced her to do none of that.
Okay. Again, you don't strike me as the guy that would force anybody to do anything.
I don't force her to take her clothes off. She was taking her clothes off. When she was laying in bed with me several times.
All 5 of the girls?
She was down on me several times.
How does that make you feel?
Makes me feel fucked up.
I'll be getting a fucking
boner. I'm fucked up.
But we didn't stop it, right? That's what you're telling me. So what happens after that? What happens after that? She takes her clothes off, she runs it. It's important that we get everything out here. It is. I think there's more to it. I think there's more that happened. I think there's more to it. I don't think when she's grinding on you or she's touching your penis or whatever it is that it stops there. Okay? I think it progresses into some other stuff.
Like, you mean, what do you mean?
Like, I think maybe you return the favor to her. Did you ever touch her?
Like, touch her?
In her vagina, yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm not sure.
Again, giving into temptation. Giving into temptation is something different than being a predator. I don't think you're a predator, Stephen. I don't. I think you give into temptation. And I think you gave into temptation. And I think that you did touch her. Would you agree with that? Okay, as in you agree with me? Okay. So when you say you touched her private area, what does that mean?
I guess so. I guess I just touched her. Yeah, so.
Did you ever rub on her? Like, did you ever rub on her vagina?
You mean like I just rub like that?
Yeah. Okay. Did you ever place your eyes?
This is what they're saying that I do.
Well, that's what you're saying you did. Right? Am I wrong? Are you not saying that you did these things?
It's not the way it happened, though.
I'm not arguing that she came on to you. I'm not.
She's a kid.
I know. But she obviously knows what she's doing, right? Right? But is she wrong if she said those things happened?
Sir, I promise you, it's not the way I did not. That's not the way it happened.
I don't think if you're worried about me thinking you forced somebody down or held a gun to somebody's head, I don't think that's you, Stephen. I don't think you did that.
Or gave him $20.
Okay.
I didn't. That's it.
Yeah. So did you ever take it any further? Did you ever put your fingers inside of her?
No, sir.
Not even in a little bit of time while you're down there?
I've never put any of my fingers in. I'm not even sure how they're saying that I rubbed on her.
Well, you're telling me you rubbed on her.
You did.
You told me that.
But you're saying this, so it has to be what they're saying.
It may be, but are you not saying the same thing? I mean, you're sitting here and telling me that she took her clothes off, she grinded on you, she touched your penis, you didn't stop her, you touched her vagina, you didn't stop her, she didn't stop you. Are those not your words? Okay. Are they true? Or are you just saying what you think they're saying? Because this is your chance to tell me what happened. Okay. So is it true? Did this happen? Okay. I appreciate the honesty, but I don't want to, maybe I should have said this in the beginning. I don't want to hear what you think I want to hear, and I don't want to hear what you think they said. I want to hear what happened. My job is to find the truth. Okay, that's why they call me an investigator. Okay, I want to find the truth, not stuff that you think people said or things that'll make me happy or solve it. I want to find the truth. If you didn't do these things, then I need to know that. But you told me you did do things. Yeah.
Everything that I just said, since we developed, I already know.
So, is there anything else I need to know now that we're being honest with each other? Now that we're getting it all out on the table, is there anything else? Because this is it, man. This is it. I can't guarantee you that I'm going to talk to you. Okay?
I know I'm going to jail. So, there's, what else is there?
The truth. Anything else? Because this, if nothing else, is your chance to tell the story, right? If there's something else that happened in any of these houses that I need to know about or that any of the kids might have said, I need to know. About your sexual contact with any of the kids.
Like, what do you mean? Like, I just told you.
So is your only sexual contact?
Only two?
Yeah.
You said that you would rub on her vagina, but you never, the legal term is digitally penetrated, but you never put your fingers inside of her. Not even by accident.
No, sir.
Is there any reason why she would tell you that you did?
I've never done that.
But is there a reason why she would say that?
No, it shouldn't be.
Okay.
And I didn't, when I say rub, I like, it's kind of hard to explain because I know how this looks. I know what, I mean.
But you're not arguing that you didn't touch her vagina, right? We might just have a different definition of the word rub. Maybe I'm not being clear. I'm not asking if you were like trying to masturbate with her or masturbate her at this time. I'm just asking if you touched her vagina and you knew you touched her vagina.
Yeah, I said to her, while she was in bed, with her clothes on, I told her stop. Stop.
On her vagina.
Like her above. Right.
But you just a second ago told me that you rubbed on her
because
vagina.
I don't know what they're saying. I did. So
it doesn't matter what they're saying. This is us talking. Okay, you were there. I wasn't there. Okay. So if you say that you rubbed on her vagina, but you didn't, that's
pretty much the same thing. If I touched that area, that's pretty much a rub. So I mean,
but you were aware that it was her private area, right? Okay. Of all the places, why did you touch her?
Yeah.
Because she was naked in the bed with me, and I can't explain how I tell her all the time, you can't keep doing this, it's wrong. And I even started praying with her about it, we would pray together about that, over and over and over again, all the time. I had to.
But sometimes it continued, right? Like sometimes, you talked to her about it, and yes, you would have discussions with her. But sometimes she would touch you, or you would touch her, and
either one of you would stop, or were you forced?
She would come back again. It would be an ongoing thing that I was trying to fight.
But sometimes you didn't. But sometimes you couldn't. Right? Yeah. I appreciate your honesty. I know it's not easy, and I know it's tough, and I know that there's a lot of things going through your head right now.
So I'm going to tell.
Well, I mean, I don't know that, because here's the problem. And let me ask you real quick before we end right now. Have you touched, or has she touched you any way like this while you've been in Fayetteville? While you've been in the new house in Fayetteville?
No, sir.
Has she come into your room at all while you've been in Fayetteville?
No, sir.
Have you had any sexual contact with any of your kids while you're in Fayetteville?
No, sir.
Okay. So all of the sexual contact happened in Little Rock, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me ask you one more question, and again, it's important that we know the truth, and it's important that we get to the bottom of everything, right? Is there any reason why any other kid would say that you tried to put your penis inside of her?
Oh.
Is there any reason why they would have said that?
No.
No? Did you ever attempt to put your penis inside?
Why are you asking?
Because put yourself in my shoes, man. You've got somebody who's, being open and honest and telling me their mistakes and saying nothing. I wasn't trying to hurt anybody, but I gave into temptation. I gave into these things, and I let her touch me, and I touched her, and how it could lead to other things. And that's why I need to know if it led to other things.
I never actually tried to put my penis inside.
Now, is there any reason why any of the children would have said that you tried to put your penis inside of them?
There's no reason why any of the kids would have said that I tried to put my penis inside of them.
I got to ask, right?
What's going on, man? Like, I don't understand. Like, one minute we're in Little Rock, like way down on our luck.
Mm-hmm.
The next minute, I get this job. I bring my whole family up here, and we're here.
But you've already told me that mistakes were made, and you knew that these mistakes that were being made were illegal, right? So it's not really super hard to figure out why we're here, right? Would you agree? I'm going to step out real quick and figure out what we need to do from here. Do you have any questions for me? Right now? Well, we're going to talk about that, but do you need any water or anything? I'll bring it down. We've been talking for an hour. I need some
bourbon. Straight.
Bathroom?
Just give me a handle.
Okay. Well, I appreciate the honesty. I really do.
The detective realizes that he's only going to crack once there's concrete evidence that'll break this case. So, after Luckett is given a 10-minute breather, the detective returns with Luckett's phone and goes through all the gruesome pictures and videos. After scrolling through his downloaded and camera-recorded content, the detective has no choice but to charge him for possession of, let's just call it CP, plus a dozen other charges.
And he was producing.
Normally, under U.S. sentencing statutes, Luckett should be facing life, but he was given a plea deal that dropped the CP charges.
What?
The fact that this monster will be out in 30 years sounds like injustice, considering that it was 5 different minor victims who bravely spoke about such horrific acts of this monster. Which is why we'd like to hear your thoughts on this predator sentence in the comments down below. And if you like the video, then be sure to subscribe so that we can keep bringing you such crime-related videos.
Well, I don't know what to say about that. That was... Honestly, I'm not surprised. With the way some of these guys are getting away with it. Justice system is fucking trash. Unfortunately, as much as we'd like to try and fix it, it's going to be hard. The culture's already fucked up. And now we know why these guys aren't getting sentenced. They're not getting convictions. because they don't want them. They don't want to deal with it. They don't give a shit. It's not their kid. Anyway, now we're going to shift to the second half of my program, and we're going to talk about Tim Walz. Tim Walz is the vice presidential nominee for the Democratic Party, who did 24 years in the Army National Guard, which is weird because I did a full 20 and got retirement. He should have done way, way, way more to get retirement. But anyway, he claims that he was a sergeant major, command sergeant major for battalion, which he was, but he didn't retire as a command sergeant major because he didn't meet the mandatory requirements for service, and he bumped down to a first sergeant. But they won't tell you that. Claiming you're a rank that you're not, stolen valor. And the thing that really pisses me off is this guy knew he was getting deployed, and he retired suddenly, not serving a day in combat in his entire career. 24 years. I don't know how many days I spent in combat. At this point, it really doesn't matter. We're second-class citizens and domestic terrorists. So I guess I'm okay with that. I wish that I would get, free money like the illegals. Maybe I should, hola, ¿cómo estás? No Nintendo. And then get free money? No. Anyway, let's listen to JD Vance. He's got a few comments to talk about this outstanding vice presidential nominee. And then I've got another video that's pretty short as well. And it's talking about a guy that served with this vice presidential nominee and how he really feels about the shitbag. First, JD Vance.
Sir.
Last night, Governor Walz suggested that because of your Ivy League education and your Silicon backing your political career, that you yourself are part of the elite. What are your first impressions of them trying to frame you this way to the American public?
Well, look, I came from a family where nobody in my family had ever gone to law school. I grew up in a poor family. The fact that Tim Walz wants to turn it into a bad thing, that I actually worked myself through college, through law school, and made something myself, to me, that's the American dream. And if Tim Walz wants to insult it, I think that's frankly pretty bizarre. Now, look, what really bothers me about Tim Walz, it's not even the positions that he's taken, though certainly he has been a far left radical. You know what really bothers me about Tim Walz as a Marine who served his country in uniform? When the United States Marine Corps, when the United States of America asked me to go to Iraq to serve my country, I did it. I did what they asked me to do it, and I did it honorably, and I'm very proud of that service. When Tim Walz was asked by his country to go to Iraq, you know what he did? He dropped out of the Army and allowed his unit to go without him, a fact that he's been criticized for aggressively by a lot of the people that he served with. I think it's shameful to prepare your unit to go to Iraq, to make a promise that you're going to follow through, and then to drop out right before you actually have to go. I also think it's dishonest. Something, again, if you guys ever get an opportunity to ask Tim Walz or Kamala Harris some questions, he made this interesting comment that the Kamala Harris campaign put out there, and I bet they're regretting they put it out there now, because he said that and he was making a point about gun control, he said we shouldn't allow weapons that I used in war to be on America's streets. Well, I wonder, Tim Walz, when were you ever in war? What was this weapon that you carried into war, given that you abandoned your unit right before they went to Iraq, and he has not spent a day in a combat zone? What bothers me about Tim Walz is the stolen valor garbage. Do not pretend to be something that you're not. And if he wants to criticize me for getting an Ivy League education, I'm proud of the fact that my mamaw...
Tim? This is why I don't like Tim. I was retiring. I had maybe 8 months left in the Army, and I was still deployed. 8 months. Most people don't deploy if they have less than 18 months left in the Army. I trained my unit and told them I would go and help. 6 months. Came back. I had 6 months to get all my shit together and retire, which most people do over the course of 18 months. So the fact that he tucked his tail and ran doesn't sit right with me. I honored my oath till my very last day. And I still do. Doesn't mean I have to fucking like the Army, because they're weak. I'm proud of my Army. Let's listen to, not me, maybe somebody that, I don't know, served with Tim.
Again, to wage a public war of words against Tim Walz.
He abandoned us, I mean, what the hell kind of leader does that? I mean, he just, as soon as the shots were fired in Iraq, he turned and ran the other way and hung his hat up and quit.
We'll get to Barron's new message for voters in a moment. But this all starts years earlier, when Barron says Walz's misleading statements about his military service first led him to come forward in the fall of 2018.
Sleeves up.
So you try to get this message out, but Minnesota's largest newspaper checks it out, says it's 100% true, but yet refuses to print.
When I hung the phone up, I said, what the hell is this, North Korea?
Back in 2005, a warning order went out to the 1st Battalion, 125th Field Artillery to mobilize for a mission to Iraq. At the time, Walz served as the unit's highest non-commissioned officer, but months later, Walz would retire from the Guard, avoid the deployment, and run for Congress. Tom Behrens was next in line for the position and was asked to take his place.
I was like, well, for Pete's sake, if this guy quit, and if I say I'm not going to do it, I mean, what the hell kind of leadership is that?
Yep.
If a company would say that we're going to deploy to Iraq or somewhere and you're going to be gone for whatever amount of time, and then the foreman just says, no, I'm not going. I mean, what does that say to the 500 people that work in that factory?
Behrens would go on to serve in Iraq on a nearly 2-year deployment as a command sergeant major. All while Walz began using that title as a congressman. Behrens says he first contacted Walz with his concerns, sending these letters to Washington. They all went unanswered.
But then we fast forward to the election in 2018 in Minnesota, and you try at that time to get people's attention with this story and also with what seems to be a very misleading statement that he continued to make about his service.
It kind of just sat there, when he was a congressman, he bragged that he was a command sergeant, retired command sergeant major. I'm the highest ranking person ever in the House, and all this lie that he was telling. The state of Minnesota came out after 2018, after this was exposed, and they said, well, he can say that he served as a command sergeant major.
Not the state.
But he can't say he's a retired one because he's not.
And that's what he was saying.
And he was saying that, and there was lots of public, lots of cards coming in the mail, for him to be elected. They said right on there he's a retired command sergeant major, just tooting his own horn, just hanging on the coattails of people that actually are command sergeant majors that went through all the process and put all the time in.
A spokesperson for the Minnesota National Guard said Walz wasn't able to retire as a command sergeant major since he failed to complete coursework and requirements related to the rank. Verified documents show the Army corrected his...
If you ever failed a military NCO academy, you shouldn't be a leader, period. No wonder this bitch had to retire.
Service record. Walz was reduced in rank to an E8 Master Sergeant after retirement and his conditional promotion. Alpha News again asked Governor Walz if he's using the Command Sergeant Major rank on his campaign website.
If you work in that position and you don't pass your school, you're supposed to pay back all the money that you earned for that rank. I bet you they didn't make him do that.
For political gain this year. A spokesperson said this has been in the news before and pointed us to a past story where Walz said, quote, normally this type of partisan political attack only comes from one who's never worn a uniform.
It's stolen valor is really what it is. I don't know of anybody else that's done what he's done. But we called it the truth about Tim Walz.
In 2018, Behrens gave the story the full court press.
We, retired command sergeant majors of the Minnesota National Guard, feel it is our duty and responsibility to bring forth the truth as we know it concerning his service record. I put together information on it and I sent it out to every single radio station and newspaper and TV station I could in the state. The bottom line in all of this is gut-wrenching and sad to explain. When the nation called, he quit.
Twin Cities TV stations and the Star Tribune were silent, even after Barron says the newspaper checked it all out. The Star Tribune endorsed Walz in 2018 for governor. Between lockdowns, riots, unchecked crime, and a charred police precinct, Barron's felt he had no choice but again to come forward.
Allowing that to be burned down was just like having the Alamo get burned down. It's like, no, you defend that to the last man. You know, if he would have went to Iraq, he'd still be hiding under his desk over there. Because that's just, just the cowardice that I seen portrayed with him.
So how about when he also comes out and he calls you guys 19-year-old cooks?
I'd take any 19-year-old cook before I'd go to war with him. I don't know how he could even utter such a statement. I mean, it's just absolutely sad.
So this election year, it's all built up again to Barron's new grain bin message.
He called Jacob Fry an abject failure. So I was like, that's what he is.
Walz is a traitor, also made a return.
And the last one I put together, he said it himself too, as well. If they don't like my job, they can vote me out. So I wrote, we got to vote him out. We need to vote him out.
I mean, seems like a perfect candidate for the vice presidency of the United States, especially as a Democrat. Low T faggots. Oh, I didn't mean faggots in that way. I meant like a bundle of sticks. Because that's what it actually. Fags are a bundle of sticks. Look it up. And it was way before the British cigarette. Bundle of sticks. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages, since no one's watching, I'm not telling you how to think. I'm just telling you to think. But wait, got one last thing for you before we head out. I hope y'all enjoy it. Some of you probably won't and be like, well, you're an asshole, blah, 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 blah. You shouldn't be doing this, especially to your elders. Man, fuck my elders sometimes. Y'all have a good day.
Don't you know that?
Thanks, Laura. I'm using your clip.
No.
Hey, Jeff.
Hey, what's up?
Can you believe someone's making fun of Jen A? They said she was the first baby conceived by anal sex. That's pretty fucked up.
That strictly just came up in my head I don't know where it came from, bro. It just happened. I'm gonna tell you right now, everything that I said towards Jen A, everything's off the top of my dome.
I don't know who said that, but damn, that was pretty cold.
Yeah, it sure is.
I'm just here letting Jeff know so he's aware of it.
Yeah, whatever, Javi.
Why would anybody call Hitler a shit baby?
Why don't you go collect some more wrenches and more channels like Nunions and Caps and whoever Clown Core?
Well, let me get something straight, Jen A. I know you're not listening anyway. I don't collect wrenches. I don't ask for wrenches. Sometimes I go to channels and they magically appear out of nowhere. But I don't have a wrench and Caps, so I just want to clear that up.
Right.
Stupid wrench collecting thing you speak of.
Well, that's what you do, don't you? Yep, that's what you do.
Actually, I don't. However,
You're
I do like to talk to Nazis. And since you're here, I guess we're about to have a conversation.
You're trash, Hobby.
Thanks.
Thank you.
No,
Thank you.
He's a comeback
We're taken out today, so luckily I made it. Woohoo!
I actually don't even I'm not even mad that Hobby doxed my name. It's like he had every right to, in my opinion.
I got it short there first, and it was for the same reason.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll show up.
Maybe I should dox people's names. Is that okay?
Me and Jeff, shut up, Jenny. Me and
I
Jeff.
don't have to shut up. Once you make me shut up, Hobby.
I'm
you make
talking
me
to
shut
Jeff.
up, Hobby. I don't
I'm
care.
talking to Jeff. Anyway, Jeff.
Bro, so I don't know if y'all noticed, probably because you weren't in StreamYard, Jeff actually muted her ass.
That was me that came up on panel yesterday and told you to shut it down.
I thank you for that.
Right. And you're heading down the same road, buddy.
I know.
I agree with that.
Good.
Maybe
you can talk to him after I'm done.
Hold on, Janae. Hobby and I are talking, so yeah. Hobby, go ahead.
But what Cap was saying about Jen A, it's true. You should go back and check it. And she does go back after streams and try to hide people.
No, I do not. That's a lie.
Okay. But anyway,
That's a
Jeff,
bull-faced lie. You prove it,
Stop
Hobby. You
moving.
prove that. That's a lie.
Hold on.
No, I don't have to
Anyway.
hold on. That's a lie.
All right, cool.
You
Jeff,
prove it. You prove
so-
it. Show the proof of it.
ma'am. I mean, sir. I mean, whatever you are. Anyway, Jeff, I highly recommend you doing the same thing that we talked about last night, because this is only going to go down,
Right.
right? And bro, do better. If I still have a little bit of faith in you and you let me down less than 24 hours later, that's kind of messed up. I mean, it's okay if I let Jen A down because it's Jen A and she really doesn't mean shit to me. But other than that, Jeff,
Likewise, buddy.
shut up. Shut it down,
Fake
buddy.
me.
Shut it
Fake me.
down. Bye, bitch. I mean, cunt. I mean,
Bye, trash.
thank you. Thank you. It depends. Am I the recyclable kind of trash? Because that would be great. Because I could come back and fuck
Well,
everything
you're the kind that burns in
and
hell. That's
over
kind
and
of
over again.
You're the kind that's gonna burn in hellfire, Hobby.
Well,
Wait,
first of all, you
wait,
have to
hold-
believe in hell,
hold-
Janae.
Hold on real quick. So Hobby served our country and he went to combat. And
Big deal.
hold on, Jenny, put yourself in his shoes.
Ooh.
He served our country. He's a combat veteran. Why would you treat him like that?
First of all,
I
Janae
mean,
can't put herself in my shoes because she's a Nazi. She believes in white power and all soldiers should die and burn in hell. And she probably thinks all cops are bad.
I did some stupid things. I own up to that. I get that. I'm just trying to say, why would
All
you?
wars are bankers' wars, Jeff.
Okay, that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. They went.
I
They
never understood that whole, thing. All wars are bankers' wars. That still doesn't change the fact that you were like, oh, I think all soldiers should burn in hell. I mean, I didn't get paid from these bankers. Just saying, like, do they owe me money? I need to find them.
They killed innocent people. I'm talking now, Hobby. I'm talking now.
No,
Pump the brakes.
Hobby's talking.
I'm responding to what he said, Jeff.
What part? The yeah part?
Go ahead, Hobby.
Hey, dude, man, kick her. I mean, do something.
Bill, been looking for you, man. Oh, so what do you want to talk about?
I'm not telling you what to do with her, but that's what I would recommend. But after this, bro, come on, man. Nobody wants to see you go down this spiral again.
Right.
And just keep doing it 3 days in a row, man. And that kind of, I vouched for you yesterday, and it kind of feel like you kicked me in the dick.
I'm sorry.
Yo, I have one question, given wrenches is a topic. But is believing soldiers will go to hell disqualifying of a wrench?
What?
Believing soldiers will go to hell disqualifying of a wrench?
We go to Valhalla.
I think she said that before.
She actually said that earlier. She wished that I would go to hell.
I modded Hobby because I like Hobby. I respect him.
No, but as a question
Yeah, I
on
showed
principle, if
chat.
someone believes that
We got modded.
soldiers are going to hell, like, is that disqualifying of
Oh,
a
no,
wrench?
you're good. You're good.
What? If
Wait, how does he not understand what I'm saying? I don't know.
I'm not sure. Hey, Jeff, you have a good night, brother.
Hey, you too, man. Appreciate your.
That was great. Totally great. Anyway, guys, I know I asked this yesterday. So, should we shun Jen A out of the community? Yeah! Anyway, I don't know why I did that. And y'all have a good day, and don't forget, acknowledge me.